Hi, welcome back. Video number two. Dr. Joanne Manjon, and this is about Pythagoras numerology. And in this video, I'm going to give an introduction to Pythagoras numerology so that when we do get into your video for your personal interpretation, all the intro part is out the way. So I'm going to share my screen and present, move some things around. Okay, that should do it. Welcome back. What I'm showing here is how the numbers from our birth date are plotted onto a numerology chart. And a numerology starts with the grid of like playing noughts and crosses or tic-tac-toe. So we've got two vertical lines and two horizontal lines. The birth chart is then divided into three rows. And the bottom row, consisting of the numbers 1, 4, and 7, is known as the physical plane. The numbers 2, 5, and 8 is the spiritual plane. And the numbers 3, 6, and 9 is the mind plane. So as you can see here, the numbers are plotted 1, 2, 3, so vertically from left to right, and then 4, 5, 6 in the middle column, and 7, 8, 9. Okay. So how I go from one slide to another. Okay, when we're looking at the best number balance, the best number balance in Pythagoras numerology is that we have two ones. I'm going to explain what each of these numbers represent in a moment. So just about the placement at this stage. When we come to the twos, the best balance is two twos as a pair. But then for the numbers 3 through to 9, the best balance for the appearance of those numbers is a single digit. Now, no one is going to have all the numbers on the chart. And what makes this so unique and personal is that when we do plot our own birth dates, we get a representation, and it's that gives us an indication of strengths and weaknesses, characteristics, natural tendencies, pathways, purposes, all of those kinds of things. And that's what comes up in the personal interpretation. So as I mentioned, the conscious self, the physical plane, the plane of practical doing is represented by the numbers 1, 4, and 7. The soul plane in the center of the birth chart, the spiritual feeling, intuitive, love related feeling expression is all 2, 5, and 8. And at the very top, we have the mind plane, otherwise known as the subconscious self. And that's all to do with memory and mental thinking and creativity and responsibility and those kinds of things. Okay, the number one, primarily the number one represents our verbal self-expression or our communication skills, how we communicate in the physical realm. The number two primarily relates to our level of intuition. 3 is key to memory and represents the mind, body, soul connection. So its symbol is represented by the triangle, body, mind, and soul. The number 4 is all about action, orderliness, practicality, and organization, depicted by the square. The number 5 in the middle of the soul plane is love and freedom of expression, which is quite ironic when we think about where the 5 is positioned on the chart. If I go back a couple, we can see that it's in the center of the chart, and it's the only number that's completely boxed in. All the other numbers that surround it are open to the universe. It's also the only number that touches every other number on the chart. So the 5 is considered the heart chakra, symbolizes love and freedom of expression, but more so about how that needs to be attained, and that is by surmounting the boundaries and the the borders that seem to suppress us in our expression of love and other human emotions. 6 is the number of creativity and its opposite, destruction. It's the number that has one of the broadest ranges in numerology, genius creativity and really dark destruction on the other side when not when the person's not living positively. 7 is a number that represents the human body as a temple and the 7 chakras, 7 power centers that we contain. It's a number of sacrifice and personal experience, which leads to the ability to provide memorable instruction and teaching. So a little bit more in layman's terms, when we meet people, especially who have a lot of 7s on their chart and or whose ruling number is a 7, these are people that often appear to have very sad lives. They go through tremendously difficult experiences in life. But because of those experiences and because of the sacrifices they need to make and the adversity, the persistence, the resilience that these people have, they really can go on to become incredible teachers, because they're no longer sharing information through books or study or hearsay. They're sharing through personal experience, and there is just no better way to share with people. The number 8 represents spiritual wisdom and loving independence. It is a number of fierce independence. People with the number 8 usually really do love to go their own way and do their own thing in their own time. But they can get a little bit caught up in thinking that means that they need to be on their own. And really, the power of the number 8 and one of their biggest lessons is to learn how to create independence for themselves through collaboration, through casting visions and inviting others to share in those visions so that they can do amazing things, yet have support and encouragement and other people assisting them to achieve those visions through love. And the number 9 represents 3 areas. Physically, it represents ambition. Mentally, it represents responsibility. And spiritually, it represents idealism. So ambition, responsibility, and idealism are the key characters of number 9. When we have a 0 in our birth date, the 0 is considered a symbol rather than a number. Philosophically and mathematically, it represents nothing. And spiritually, it represents everything. So these are the two infinite ends of the finite, neither of which is really attainable. Okay? Overall, it represents an inherent level of spirituality, the potential for these people to understand many of the deeper aspects of life such as life's purpose, the power of our thinking, and the purpose of this incarnation. So the more 0s that someone has in their birth chart, while that creates other aspects on the birth chart itself, like a lot of empty cells, but it really is a great indication of the inherent level of spirituality that person has come into this incarnation with. So that's it as far as an introduction to the numbers. Now I'll meet you in the next video to share an interpretation of your numbers particularly.